All right, guys, more drama in the Van Halen camp. Michael Anthony, pictured here. Michael Anthony on why Van Halen tribute concert failed to materialize. One of the ingredients was not playing ball with everybody else. Jeez. Wonder who that's about, huh? So this is from Blabbermouth. During an appearance on the latest episode of the Hook Rocks podcast, Michael Anthony once again weighed in on the proposed All-Star Van Halen tribute concert, saying that it fell through because one of the ingredients was not playing ball with everybody else. No progress has been reported on a possible Van Halen tribute show since April 22, when former Metallica bassist Jason Newsted revealed to the Palm Beach Post that he was approached by Van Halen drummer Alex Van Halen about 6 months earlier about playing bass for the project. Newsted told the Florida newspaper that he agreed to go to California to jam with Alex and legendary guitarist Joe Satriani and see if it felt right. But he eventually realized that it would be impossible to do justice to Van Halen's legacy. So this has been going on for a long time. You guys have been following this. You know, all the Van Halen fans. It's just a shame that nothing has happened with this. You know, not even just a smaller type performance. But you can see here what's going on. Regarding why the Van Halen tribute concert failed to materialize, Michael told the Hook Rocks, "You're talking about Joe being approached by Alex and Dave, and then there's people that all of a sudden in the press, I read that Jason Newsted, who played with Metallica, was approached about it as well. Now I got a call from Alex and Dave a few years right around the same time, and they wanted to put something together, and Joe was in the mix. I remember talking to Joe a couple of times after that too, and Joe was telling me, yeah, well, they gave me some of that album and told me to listen to it or whatever." So all sorts of stuff going on with this. They tried putting some sort of band together. It seems like the mainstays were Joe Satriani and Alex Van Halen. You know, they tried with Newsted. It seems like that Newsted, as far as the storyline goes, Newsted was approached first, and then Michael Anthony. It's almost seems like kind of maybe there was a fallout with Jason Newsted, and then, you know, Michael Anthony coming back into the mixture, which seems very odd. I mean, as a Metallica fan, I love Jason Newsted, but come on, Michael Anthony, you know, he's the one. He's the one. You know, you got basically 3/4 of the band there. You know, and then, you know, with David Lee Roth, Sammy Hagar would do this in a second. But the main issue is obviously David Lee Roth. Trying to get him to do anything at this point seems like it's trying to, you know, you're trying to herd cats or something. Doesn't want to work with anybody, is denying releases by Van Halen, a different kind of truth. It seems like that's on him, and possibly Alex Van Halen. But we'll see what happens about that. You know, it's not, that album is not on any streaming services currently. So, I mean, you can buy the CD. But for whatever reason, as far as I know, that release is non-existent, you know, as far as streaming goes. He continued, "All I can say is I'm not going to point fingers, but through all of this, one of the ingredients was not, let's just say, playing ball with everybody else. And that's all I'm going to say. I'll let you figure it out. And that's why none of it worked. And you've read it probably with Wolfgang's Van Halen, former Van Halen bassist and son of the late Van Halen guitarist, interviews too, that he's been doing this past year. It's pretty sad because when the band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, this was in 2007, Sammy and I were the two from the band that showed up, and we weren't even in the band at that time. And it was pretty sad because I turned to Sammy during the show. I forgot who was on stage playing, and we're sitting at our table, and I go, "Sammy, could you imagine if all of us if we were all here and everybody got along, we got up there, we would kick the you know what out of this thing. It'd be an induction ceremony that nobody would ever forget. And sadly enough, it wasn't to be. So that's where we're at with this stuff. It's really crazy. I remember watching that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction and then just seeing Sammy and Michael Anthony up there. I mean, this is when those guys were touring. I mean, can you imagine if they all, I mean, even if they just got up on stage just to that podium and did some speeches. You know, this is the thing about bands, and it happens time and time again. You know, the fans invest so much money, their time and energy, and just their whole lives, you know, dedicated to this music band. You know, you get obsessed with it. I grew up with Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, continually best guitarist, best rock guitarist. I mean, he invented like rock guitar as we know it, as far as I'm concerned. So it's in your blood, you know? And I just feel like the certain elements of these groups, band members that just forget about that stuff. They forget about all the fans, and it's like all about them. And that's really sad because, like I said, you're in this, you know, you become, it's like buying like a piece of furniture or something like that. You've owned the furniture your whole life, or it's a combination, you know, you've had just something in your life for so long. And I mean, especially music, the music just sticks with you. And that's the thing, you feel gypped. You feel gypped when things like this happen. It's just I can only imagine. Can you imagine if they all got up there at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and then performed? That would have been so cool. Same thing happened with Journey. I mean, the Journey guys, at least Steve Perry showed up and they all got up on stage and you know, and thanked everybody. But Steve Perry didn't perform with the band. So again, it's just one of those things, and I don't think at this point anything's going to happen. I think it's all said and done. Wolfgang did that performance at the Taylor Hawkins tribute, and that was his goodbye. You know, he got up there and just kicked butt, you know, and that was a great tribute to his dad. But they're going to be going on tour, so the best of all worlds, the upcoming 2024 tour with Hagar Satriani and drummer Jason Bonham, said that will focus largely on the music of Van Halen. So this is as close as you're going to get. You know, they're going to do this tour, which isn't exactly a Van Halen tribute. It's called the Best of All Worlds. And so that would be a combination of Sammy Hagar, like his solo career, and then Van Halen and probably whatever else. You know, they've been playing together for a while. Sammy Hagar, I mean, not obviously since Van Halen, but Michael Anthony, they've had Chicken Foot. Now they have basically like the Sammy Hagar solo band, which, I mean, they've been doing Van Halen material all along, so I don't know what else they're going to bring to the table. So probably, I would say probably more exclusive Van Halen stuff, but that seems like the show already. So, but you know, those wishing for a Van Halen tribute concert, I think that's, I mean, at this point, I mean, we're 4 years into it, so don't think it's gonna happen. It's just, it's unfortunate. Anyways, guys, you got any comments about any of this stuff? Leave a comment and hit subscribe. I really appreciate it. And have a great day, guys. Rock on.